know if we're parenting our children correctly. I don't know. I mean, God, I know we're doing it differently. We're definitely doing it differently from the way my mum parented me in the 80s. There seems to be this compulsion as middle-class parents is just to get a bit of feedback from the children and ask them lots of questions. Let's get some bloody feedback from the 4-year-old and see what they think. I think it's really important to get some feedback and find out what the children are thinking. And listen, Mummy and Daddy, we don't know where to go on holiday. We've been thinking about France. I do remember you saying you like Cornwall, so we put that in the bag there, darling. And listen, Mummy's got to have a coil taken out next week. What do you think she should replace it with? The pill or the withdrawal method? I don't know. Do you think society is ready for a black James Bond? And what are you asking her for? She's 4! She's just sitting there thinking, fix my biscuit. Don't ask her! I don't know about the rest of you, but I don't remember my mum asking me a goddamn thing. I mean, the other thing that you end up doing as a parent, yeah, is you end up going on these things called play dates. Have you heard of these things? If you don't know what play date is, it's basically where you go with your children to watch how someone else parents their child. Yeah? It's literally about as much fun as dragging your face down a broken mirror. Okay? I remember going round on this play date, and it was tea time, we were feeding the kids, and right, the mum started to offer the children a menu, like we were at a restaurant. It was the bizarrest thing I've ever seen. What would the children like to eat? Some sort of fish fingers, we can do some baked beans on toast, we can do some chips, some sort of quesadilla, some sort of burrito, tortilla, some chili con carne, spaghetti bolognese, pasta and pesto. It was like, what the flickety fuck are you doing? Don't do that. If you do that, they're going to expect that at home. When I was a kid, that never happened. When I was a kid, if I asked my dogmatic, confrontational, angry Spanish mum what was for dinner, she would reply, dinner is for dinner. And that was that. And if after she had lovingly cooked a meal and placed it in front of me, if I had had the temerity to say to my mum, I don't like it, she would have turned to me, yeah? And she would have said, you do like it. That was the end of that. And I know what you're thinking. I think you probably think, oh, Jen, you need to chill out, mate, because your kids are only 7. Yeah, chill out. But you've gotta be vigilant about these things. You've got to stay on top of these things, because privilege. We've seen this happen time and time again. It dilutes empathy. Yeah. And I don't want my children to find it harder to relate to other people who are different to them, you know, who might not be as fortunate as them because they have privilege. I don't want to wake up and realise that we've got 2 Tobys in the house. Because I will not put up with it. I'm not having a Toby in the house! No way! I don't like it! You know what I'm talking about, don't you, Toby? Yeah? Toby Young? Come on, do you know who Toby Young is? Yes. The Toadmeister, for those of you, right, who have got no idea who I'm talking about, I'll explain, okay? Toby Young is a British journalist, yeah, with lots and lots of opinions, right? And a few years ago, he had a very strong opinion about Greta Thunberg. Now, who, by the way, he is absolutely livid with. Now, I'm assuming you all know who Greta is, right? But just in case you've been living under a bloody stone, let me explain. Greta is, or certainly was at the time of writing this show, a teenage Swedish schoolgirl with Asperger's who basically encouraged people around the world to take direct action on climate change. Yeah? Yes. Yeah. I know. What a bitch. And Toby Young didn't believe that a child with as much privilege as Greta should be given a platform to spout her socially responsible, yeah, and altruistic drivel. Yeah? And he was absolutely furious. And where do you go to when you're angry, ladies and gentlemen? You get onto Twitter. Yeah? And that's what he did. He got onto Twitter and he said, "How dare you? How dare you? How dare you, Greta? Speak about climate change when your mother sang in the Eurovision Song Contest back in 2009. Huh? And by the way, that kind of privilege doesn't go unnoticed." And he didn't stop there, because Toby was angry. He got back onto Twitter, and I'll admit I am paraphrasing, but he said something like this: "I cannot believe, Greta, that you have the fucking gall, right, to speak about one of the biggest man-made and wholly preventable environmental catastrophes that threaten the lives of millions of people and will make huge swathes of the planet uninhabitable when your mother sang in the Eurovision Song Contest! You disgusting, overprivileged female child!" And I think you'll agree that we owe Toby Young a debt of gratitude. Because I don't know about you, but I think I completely misunderstood what privilege is. I've completely misunderstood what it is. And I think we really needed to hear what privilege is, didn't we? From Toby Young. A rich, white, upper middle class, able-bodied, cisgender, heterosexual man who happened to go to Oxford University despite getting a B and 2 Cs because his dad, who is a baron, happened to donate a significant amount of money to a particular Oxford college and has since made a living out of being an obnoxious prick. Yeah, we needed to hear. Didn't we? We needed to hear about privilege from Toby Young. Because there is a high-thinking privilege or structural and systemic benefits afforded to you by society and an upper-middle-class background, but no! As it turns out, privilege is, in fact, having a mother that can hold a tune! And then you Toby Young! Thinking about who would I like my children to be like? Would I like my children to be like Toby Young? That fucking entitled bellend. Cross between an evil-looking Heston Blumenthal and a fascist roll-on deodorant. Would I like my children to be like Greta? Yeah? A child! Using what little privilege she has to save the planet! Well, it's Greta all the way for this, Les